record it now. Okay, so if I dive in and show you spreads on Deckable, so I'll just start off on, and I'm going to pick one rather than playing with someone else's deck. I'll just play with one I've been playing with. There we go. I just go into view the deck. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to show you something else first, because then I'll show you the spreads and then I'll come back to that. Oh no, I just want to go to. Not too much going on my screen, filter. So, okay. So when I come in here and I view the deck, one of the things that's worth noting, I don't know, you may or may not know this, but there's an embed deck option. And then if you embed the deck, if you take this piece of JavaScript and put it on put it in a blog post on your website, you'll get this widget below that that has the different images for the different sides from your deck. It's got the full description. It's got a link to where you can buy the print deck from, and you can also open up this deck inside the app. And you can then obviously got a buy now button, and that buy now button would take you to Deckable, and then you can obviously add in my collection. But if it wasn't, I could buy it at that point. So if I view the deck, there's this new promote and share option at the top of the screen, and it's also in the promote and share is also in the menu here. So if I click on promote and share, I just zoom this down a little bit, there's an awful lot of options here. And the reason I built this, because I was spending a lot of time organizing screenshots to share of Deckable with people. And so if I just choose this, it will pick one card and shows me up to 3, if there's 3 faces to the card. So it's showing me the shared back, the face, and then the guidebook page. And it just randomly does that for me and lays them out. And then I can move them around if I want. And at any point, I can just right click, copy the image or save image as, and that's going to save the image to my computer or my phone, depending where I do it from. And then you can share that image via social. And I just found this saved me a lot of time from finding the artwork, arranging it, making it look nice, just tilting it, putting shadows on it. And I just did all of that without any effort. So that was great. We also quickly pull up the box for you, the front and back of box. So you've got an image to share of both of those. We can do 2 cards just randomly. We can do a box with 5 cards. And we're just playing with these ideas of ways of laying out the cards. And I could produce 3 cards from the first side, or 3 cards from the second side in the deck. And that just selects cards. So you basically just got a nice spread to like share with people. And we also do the box with 5 cards. There we go. And then below it is the spread option. And this is pretty cool because this uses the spreads that are on your deck. And so it just randomly picks one of the spreads and lays out the cards accordingly. So I was hoping to get the Zodiac spread. It's just randomness is not on my side right now. But it's so quick to do that, right? And that means you've always got a fresh image to share and not have to think about what cards to choose. And when you're ready, you just right click and save. And if it's all there. So that's really powerful, I think, and useful. And if you actually create custom spreads for your deck, then they will show up there and be laid out randomly, as I've mentioned. So I'm just going to go into my created decks and view deck. So here I'm just going to go into spreads, and these are spreads I've already created for this deck. And I can just create if I create a new spread, I choose how many cards I want. So I just choose 3 cards. And now I've got the cards laid out here. Oops, trim that down a bit. So I can move the cards around. If I want to rotate this card, you'll see there's a little handlebar on the card. And you can use, once you've clicked on the card, you can use the handlebar to shrink the card and arrange them and angle them as you want. And then if you go across here and put like the label you pick has to be short because there's really not much space to display it. And once you've done that, you've laid that out and that will appear. That's how the spread will appear in Deckable. So it's very powerful, very easy, but it just lets you create your own unique feel to your deck because you can arrange the spreads exactly as you want. And we include for you, like those 10 standard spreads, I think, but it's kind of cool to be able to customize. And when you come here, you have to, you go to selected spreads, and here are all the spreads, and you can see the ones I've added, the ones I've got silly names, so I can choose all of those. And then if I update that, if I loaded this deck in the app, it would only have those spreads included, right? So very, very simple, but you take control of that and manage your decks and make sure you see what your spreads look like in the app. Otherwise, you're not kind of testing the full experience from end to end. So that was showing spreads. I think that's an important part of it. And I've shown you the card sort where you add and remove cards. So I think that's kind of a bunch, and I've deleted a deck and then re-added it. So that's cool thing. One of the things that I've realized, because a lot of people have struggled because they arrived at Deckable.com and they didn't actually realize that Deckable was an app, right? And they wanted to try it. They bought a deck and they were trying to use it on Deckable.com. And it seems to be a very common perception. And I've even found creators that didn't realize Deckable was an app. And sometimes you wonder, because from my impression was that Deckable is like, this is an app, 100 decks in your pocket has been the message. But I'm kind of thinking, well, perhaps we should do something about that, because if everyone thinks that, because they don't know what a card deck app is, then perhaps we should do something about that, right? So if you add spreads to your deck, do you have to, yes, you do. Yeah, if you do that, you do need, that's a change to your deck. It's worth downloading again. So, so one of the, I don't have it running today, but I basically we technically know how to make Deckable Desktop, which is basically the Deckable app running on in a browser. And it requires some work because you can't do this in a browser, right? You can't do this. So you have to, code those experiences in a different way if it's running in a browser. But it's not, on a scale of things, a massive amount of work. So it's something I'm not sure how much that should be a priority. But if people keep thinking that Deckable is a desktop experience and then ask to find the app, or I'm questioning if we shouldn't do that. So anyway, these are just options to explore.
Yeah, because I to journal, I usually do that on my computer anyway. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's the cool thing, is we're all different. We all do things differently, right? But I mean, our design goal with Deckable was, the idea of like, you leave home without your decks and you wish you had them, and you have them with you, and now you can, the spare moments I have to journal are usually with my mobile phone when I'm, out somewhere doing something, right? Just, I have some spare moments and then I'll do that. So, but there's no harm. I mean, at some point we're gonna get to that point eventually. So it's just a question of, it's just a matter of choices, really. What is the most important thing for us to do next? And I think one of the things I've been asking all the creators is to say, can you use Deckable every day personally for the next month? Do card readings from your deck, from other decks, meditate, journal. At the end of that month, come back and tell us how that felt. Is there what could we do to enhance that experience? Because I feel like if as creator, if the creator community isn't doing that and doesn't know how to do that, it's very hard for them to expect their customers to come and use this app in a way that they're not even using it themselves, right? And then if we follow through that workflow, we were like, oh my God, I need this and this. It would be great. This was really frustrating. But whatever those things are, I don't think we'll hit those until we try and do that every day. And I think if we're just thinking about that goal, because what I'm aware of is that we are creating a brand new behavior. The idea of doing this on your phone is well, we have no benchmark because we've not done it before, right? So what do we do about that, right? Do we don't want people to walk away and not know what Deckable is about, right? Because there is a certain wow experience to pinching and zooming and journaling, but if we don't get people there, we're kind of missing out, right? So lots of open questions, but just trying to evaluate. I think there's a lot of times with software you try and add more advanced features, and really what you often need to do is to add less advanced features because people are not as sophisticated as perhaps you think. And that's definitely some of my experience of working in software over a number of years. So yeah, so that'd be interesting to hear your thoughts and feedback on that.
I have a question about giving this to people as I think you talked about it once before. Well, two things. One is you said something about course creators.
Yeah.
That you were working on something with that. And the other question was if you want to offer, like I have people in my membership that I want to offer the deck to.
Right.
For free, because,
right.
But I also want to ask them to review my decks.
Right. Well, one is that this, I mean, in order to do that, I have talked about that before, it requires coupons. Couponing is an incredibly large topic. There are many ways to coupon. And so what we're going to do, I think, first of all, is let people create a coupon, and we're basically going to sell. Our intention is, I think, to sell coupons, and so then you can buy a coupon and then you can give it away, because so we haven't quite decided on that, but we need to be able to manage and track that. So if you're giving away 100 copies or 50 or 1,000, right? And I want to start with that, and I want to empower you to have coupons to be able to get those early customers, and also to work with. The best thing is if you get that feedback from people. We get feedback on how these there's a difference between a deck creator that's got some skin in the game at this point, and is committed and knows what's going on. We need to get those subtle levels of feedback from new users and their first impressions, so we can enhance the experience and get people more quickly to their first wow Deckable moment, right? And it's not clear or obvious to me what's exactly the right step, but couponing is part of it. I do have this intention that as soon as we feel that we've got rid of enough friction, and that people who arrive at Deckable do get to a wow moment, they do journal, they do draw cards, they can see their timeline filling up. When we know that's happening, our intention is to roll out something we're calling 5 Friends Friday. And at this point, what we're going to do is every user on Deckable every Friday is going to get 5 invites, so they can invite 5 friends to join them on Deckable, and they'll get a free deck. And a free deck of their choosing, and the creators can choose to opt in or out of that. It's not our intention to offer every deck for free, because that devalues the platform, devalues everything that we're offering. So over time, we might have 30 or 40 decks that are in that free pool for this week or this month, right? And the idea is creators can choose whether you want to be part of that or not. We would want to try and curate that there are some, divination and spiritual decks in that mix, and then some coaching decks, so that there's a balance, right? And then each creator can also, we're gonna implement that through coupons, because we need to be able to limit the number of those things of any given deck that we give away. Because the creator might say, I'm in, I'd love to do it, but I only want to give away a 500 decks, right? Okay, cool. And as soon as we sell 501 decks, then that deck will be removed, right? So and I thought doing 5 Deck Friday was like top of the priority list. But I'm more accepting that there's more education to be done in terms of educating all the creators of where they're up to, and then also, how can we enhance the experience for their customers that turn up for the first time. And when I'm hearing lots of stuff about people having bought a deck, but they thought it was a desktop app or just a desktop experience, I'm like, oh, that the problem is much simpler than the one I was trying to solve, right? And even when people may get their deck, but if they don't download it, like, people don't realize that Deckable is very like Audible. You download the decks to your phone. When you've got them on your phone, it will run offline. You can go into a cave or jump onto a plane and you can do a reading and you can journal. And when you get back to civilization, it will sync up with your central Deckable records, right? So that's sorry?
That's great.
Which is, but most people don't realize that. And so they're like, oh, it's taken a long time to download the deck. Well, it depends if you're on Wi-Fi or if you're on, phone data. And then once it's on your phone, you don't need to do that kind of downloading, right? But people don't necessarily realize that. And then you can even, like, if I was I've got Deckable on my phone here, as well as I was on my tablet a second ago, right? So the things I did on my tablet will appear when I open this up. It will synchronize, and the same information will be on my phone, right? So you can see, like, it's just loaded up, and those timeline events those events that I added while I was talking to you, like that spread and this mixed set of cards is on my phone, right? So it's pretty cool. It's pretty sophisticated, and people don't necessarily need to appreciate that, but it's very, it's just, the experience is effortless, right? And I'm almost thinking that if by having the desktop version as well, we get that feeling of it's all wherever I am. I'm on my phone, I'm on my computer, I'm on my tablet. It's a fun and visual way to engage and learn, right? And I did talk about courses, because you can, and I'm trying to think which deck has got a video on it. Trying to remember who. Oh, I know, this one does. Does it? No, maybe it doesn't. Who's added? Oh, who's added a video to their deck?
I have.
Okay, cool. Oh, there we go. Let's all right, there we go. So let me and let me see if you did it correctly.
Yeah, it is showing in the app, I see.
Okay, cool. There we go. Perfect. Why is that not there? Should be. I'm trying to think. What's the name of your deck? I'm trying to remember it now.
It's Order of the 12 Mushrooms.
Right, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, I was thinking of the mushroom. Oh, why is that? Did I published it too as well, didn't I?
Yeah, it is. It looks like
Yeah.
it's showing, although I don't know if it doesn't say it's in draft.
No, okay, cool. I was just gonna look for that. Yeah, there it is. Let me just. Oh, I know why. Because I haven't. Okay, I need to go to the marketplace to find it. I got it. Okay.
I'd love to see your deck.
Oh, thank
Coming
you.
up.
Yeah.
Oh,
You said it's about mushrooms?
Yeah, it's a special experience I had with mushrooms a few years ago, and I turned it into a deck. Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
to put few customers. Okay, yeah, let's go. So I did that wrong. Just a minute. Add to purchase. There we go. Okay. So now it's just exactly what I was telling you before. Share screen. So here I am, and I just kind of added it to my collection. Here it is, and I can download it. I could start that download process, but as I go across to the last item, there's a video, right? So then I can play that video here, right?
Nice.
So, but the cool thing is that that's just a YouTube video where you just put in the YouTube ID, and it's really simple. And you can do that same thing with each card, right? So you can create a learning experience on the phone that's actually much more engaging than Thinkific, Teachable, Kajabi, because you can journal and participate on every card, right? It's not like those courses are a very flat experience and they're not really designed for mobile. So that's just what I kind of believe with a passion about Deckable is that we've created a new medium, a medium that's phone sized, and on there you've got visuals and you can choose and size and rank things visually. You can make choices, you can do readings, you can watch a video, consume audio, and you can journal and reflect and share. So there isn't anything that does that, and it's a pretty big vision. But right now we have these core card decks, and people are turning card decks into courses, or like we have that. There's a book from there are certain books that have been translated into decks already, right? So that's just it's a way of working. But as I think about this vision, I'm like, the vision doesn't matter. We're at ground zero, and we're building up people's basic knowledge and skills before we get to that, right? And that's the thing that's most resonating with me in terms of the things I need to appreciate is I do not need to think about high level features. I need to think about low level and education and repetition and showing the same thing again and again. And it's weird for me because I've been so engrossed in it to think, but I know these things, so it's just like normal to remember that. And I kind of almost want. Sorry, yeah, go on, Christine.
I was going to say, I do think the coupons definitely will help, because then we as the course creators can walk our, for me in particular, like my cards
Right.
are a huge part of my course. Like it is my course,
Right, yeah.
It kind of like I want it. I only have 22 people in my membership right now, but
Okay, cool.
they are my founding members, so I want to
Right.
treat them with the cards, and I want to actively use the cards with them.
Right.
So
Right.
it benefits me to give it to them as a sort of a lead-in.
Right.
you know?
Right. And I don't have I don't have an easy solution to do that right now.
Okay.
That's like effortless. I mean, you could change the price on the deck to being whatever price you want, and then have those people buy it. As soon as I'm able, I mean, I want to do these things. It's just a case of I have to code something. You have to design where you think about everything you want to go, and then build all the building blocks that get you there. And
Yeah.
that doesn't happen instantly, right? So, but it's top of mind for me because I want us to be at the point when we do 5 Friends Friday, because the mechanic is working, people who get it are using it, and like and buying more than one deck, right? Because
Yeah.
I don't know if you may or not be aware, but people who love HUD decks typically own 10 to 20 decks, and they're probably a very small percentage of the global population. But it's my strong belief that with the right experience with Deckable, we can actually bring many more people to the card deck world, right?
I just wanted to give you, I want to give you the proof.
Oh yeah, your deck collection.
Yeah.
There we go. Cool. Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Exactly. That's fantastic. Yeah. So, so I want to make sure that we get that experience of it feels good to use it every day. I want to use more than one deck, and I feel like at this point, if we had 350 creators who were all doing that, they would be in, we would be in great shape, because then everyone knows what's possible, and then we move forward to like bring people on, and in that process, in the next 6 weeks or something, we might make 20 or 30 changes that just tighten up that experience and get people in, right? So we've talked about onboarding tips. You arrive at the canvas for the first time, and it gives you a little prompt to say, hey, when you drag a card here, do you know you can pinch and zoom and rotate it? Because I've had people who dragged a card onto the canvas and then clicked on it and go to the card info screen and told me I couldn't zoom it. I'm like, wow, like that kind of information is priceless, right? Because otherwise,
I didn't even know you could drag it onto the canvas. So
right, you see, so that, and this
Yeah.
is just, I mean, it's funny because I felt like I wanted to speak to people this, and I just feel like I need feedback to validate and learn what we need to do. And I thought I had a plan, but every time I can reshape my plan, it becomes more and more basic about what the basics I need to tell people what they need to do. And we have a mini army right now of 350 to 700 people, and then thousands of people who've signed up but don't know quite what to do, right? And I'm sort of going, okay, we don't need to race. This is a marathon. We're running a long race here, so we're going to walk and keep steady and preserve our energy. But let's focus on making the core experience just right, right? Is hone that as much as we can, bring another 100 people on, get their feedback, because each new 100 people that come after we've changed it will have a different first experience, hopefully a better one than the people who joined 6 weeks before and 6 weeks later, right? What was that? Yeah, BB, I agree with you. I have seen the zooming working not 100% of the time. And as with all things, there will be a set of rules on when it works and when it doesn't. And if I can pinpoint those, because I talked to the development team and they say to me, "Oh, it works on my machine," which, it's sort of like a bit of a Monty Python sketch, like, but it's true. So I have to show them how it doesn't work. And that's often, it sounds ridiculously easy. But one thing you could try is, I've tried this, is if I double tap when it doesn't seem to work, and then it pinches. But that's still not, it's like a 90%, but it's close, but not. So there's definitely something there that there's some behavior on some machines in some scenario that's not working perfectly, and I don't know what it is. So, Yeah. So basically, what I want to do is like, I think I have a good sense of where we are now. We're going to go away and do some work to try and make the next 100 people that join after we've done that work have a better experience. And then we'll gather feedback from those people and we'll do the same again. Right. I don't have a black and white answer because that's not even cast iron. And sometimes I just don't, I can get it to work most of the time. But sometimes it doesn't, and I haven't figured out how. So
I've
there
noticed
will
that
be,
if you scroll a little while you're trying to pinch, then it won't zoom. It might be hard to see,
okay.
but
Yeah.
so like if you start to scroll it, then it won't. But if it's like perfectly still, then it
Right.
will zoom. That's one thing I noticed.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yes.
I'm not sure if that's the only thing, but
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. If it's completely still, it works. Until, yeah. Okay. That is a good tip because
So Nick, in the forget the Q Basics deck, the author mentioned that you could do like the green cards, and then you could do the other two colors individually,
yeah.
and that you might start with one and follow through. I couldn't figure out how I could say, give me just the green cards.
Okay, just a minute. What's the Q? Let me
Q Basics open-ended, I think open-ended question.
yeah, I got it. And that might be, it might be that she hasn't tagged it correctly, in which case I can go fix that. If not, or I can get her to fix it because she's tidied up this weekend, I think. I'm just downloading that, but let me show you on a different deck how that could work, or it should work if it's done correctly. So share screen. Okay,
Yeah.
here we go.
It was helpful for you to show how you got to have the filter, so you could do
So that
was helpful.
So when you're here, really the way you would do it is pick this
Yep.
and pick awareness or
Yep.
compassion or focus, right? Those are suits within the deck. And once you've done that, and that should be, it's possible that because I got Marcy, I got Marcy moving with this a while ago, and she did it. I did it very quickly for her, and then she didn't. She she's not really paid much attention to it, and then spent some time yesterday and the day before uploading a guidebook. It's possible she's not tagged the cards, so I will check that. Because if they're not tagged, you can't.
Well, at the same time, at the time that I made a note of that for myself, I also didn't know how to use the filter.
Okay.
So now I know how to use the filter. It could be a different thing.
And filtering like that is a really good point. That's something we should teach you how to do, right?
Yeah. But if I want to reference the guidebook that you've got already, how do I put that into my deck? Is that doable?
Yeah, you just add extra card. You design some extra cards for your deck, and you tag them. You add extra rows to the spreadsheet, and you put in there. How do you give people? Maybe there's a page about you and a page about what the deck's purpose is and how to use it, right? So, I mean, you get lots of ideas from other decks on what people have, because people's guidebooks vary from 1 page to 30 pages, right? and you can, right? And you also, each card in the guidebook can be many-sided, right? So it doesn't have to be a one-sided card. If you had 10 pages of guidebook, you could make 2 5-sided cards, right? Because you can flip through them. But it's totally up to you to design how that works.
Well, I was thinking of, did you not create a guidebook on how to go about using Duckable?
No.
Oh, I thought you did. I thought I
have
remembered that you did.
I did a while ago, but that was a long time ago. And
Okay.
then more recently, like this, in response to this friction and feedback, I've been kind of designing a deck that is, I'm thinking of, it's going to be like a 12 or 15 card deck with each different core feature that you need to know. And there'll be a little video to go with that. They'll explain it and you can watch the video on how to do certain things, right? So it seems pretty cool to deliver that via Deckable, but also we also need to do a good job of it if we're going to tell people this is a course platform, right? Because people judge stuff by the content. So in order to make that deck, it's probably going to be 12 cards. Exactly. I love that expression. I used to work. I was a consultant at Safeway in the UK, and the dog food buyer used to eat dog food. It was a PR stunt, but it really made the expression "eat your own dog food" like really mean something. So
That's perfect.
I thought it was funny. Yeah, it was funny. He was a very, very unusual individual. Let's just say that. It was very funny. Oh, just doing it. Yeah. So yeah. So that, but you just reminded me because I mean I can show you what's in it. Let me show you where I'm up to with it. It's very ugly at this point. Open recent how to Deckable. Okay. In fact, it was one of the funniest things is I actually delivered my daughter's wedding speech, like using Deckable, because I put the speech onto like 12 cards and I just flicked through it. It was super cool because everyone else at the wedding had reams of paper for their speech that they were reading out, and I just had my phone and I just flicked through the pages.
That's actually a good point.
Okay.
You could advertise like using Deckable for personal use where there's not even any intention to share it with others necessarily.
Right, exactly. And I think we ultimately, I can totally imagine, and it's part of the vision, that you would be able to create your own deck in the app on the phone, right? So
oh wow.
I'll just show you this. So this is my kind of work in progress, which is, and it's basically just going to be a series of phone shots, but I need to make it more visual than this. So why decks? So we explain, why card decks are fun, because a lot of people don't even know that, right? We all know that because we're the non-muggles of the deck world, right? And then why Deckable, what we do, and then technical details that this is an app, right? per my earlier comments, you need to download it and stuff like that, right? So I'm just working on these ideas. And then the home screen tells you what you can do there. And then we'll have a video to go with the home screen. Freeform sort will show you how to do that. Spreads, share, journal, how you create a course on here, card flip, shuffle, arrange, marketplace, create. But from this conversation, I just realized we don't have filter and sort, filter and search. So anyway, that's my little that's it. So that's a deck that I'm working on, which when I create that.
Yes, no, turn it off.
So when that's complete, I'll need to create a video for each of the cards, and then we can give that deck away to everyone and teach them how to use that deck. Right, so that's the plan. Just little things that I think that makes it easier for people, because I feel like each person who's buying a deck doesn't really I hear common feedback from people. They don't know, they're looking for the deck on their computer, not on the phone. They're saying they can't download it when they actually haven't installed the app. You know, and then some people try and log into the app without a password or without an email, like without a Deckable account, right? So we're discovering all these things. These behaviors are there's a relatively short list of, behaviors like this that we're learning to well, once we know the behavior happens, we can then go and fix the behavior, or by improving the process or improving the communication or whatever the solution might be, right? So yeah, Susie, hey, how you doing?
Hi.
You were waving your-
I got the times wrong. I thought it was an hour. I thought it was just starting now. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I sent you an email and a message yesterday. I've got somebody who's bought my deck who can't find it.
That's
so
right.
what's
Yeah,
my-
I know. Yeah, it was
You've
Ronnie-
spoken to
Ronnie
her?
had it.
Yes.
I haven't, but she has since. I need to check. What I did look. I know who she is, so I know her.
Oh, okay.
I'll check in with her and see that
Yeah,
that's okay. I
she
saw your
sent
message.
because I did put a thank you note up, and I'll get my audios and things, and I put a video up as well. But
Right.
she
Okay.
from the thank you note, she sent me a message by Messenger, so they're getting in touch with me.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, that's great. No, it's fine. It's great that you passed it on to me. That's cool.
Yeah.
Um,
And the other thing was, you asked us to. I'll start doing it on stories today, but you asked us to start playing with the app, which I have been doing. And on one of my, I'll have to do it again, but on one of my shuffles, one of my info cards is coming up as one of the three. And I didn't take a screenshot, so I'll do it. I'll play with it again today. And if that.
But it's not when you do a quick draw, because one of the things is, let me show you on the screen where it comes.
Okay.
It's possible that what you're saying is, what you're thinking is wrong is not, but it doesn't, not that it matters. So this is yeah, there's no by the way, for BB, there's no filters on that deck. So I'll talk to Marcy and fix that. That's easy. Okay, so let's go back and look at the
it was on I'll just see
so here we go. So if I go into a free form here, and if I actually, this deck doesn't have any guidebooks in it. Let me find one. Just a minute. This deck does, I think. Yeah, it does. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go in here and shuffle, and you can see all the way the guidebook in this example are at the end. Right?
I've got it now.
Right.
I can actually show you what's happening with my cards now.
Okay. Well, which thing are you doing with it?
Right. I'm clicking on the three, where it says 1, 2, or 3. I clicked on the 3.
Right. Yeah.
And hold on, I'll go back here. So I don't know whether you can see this. So I've got right. Okay. Now if I go back here, the first card that's come up here is go away. Is one of my guide cards.
Okay.
And they were excluded in the sheet before.
Okay. Yeah, you've got there's 42 cards and 4 guidebook cards, right?
So there's 38 cards.
Okay. Okay. And that's definitely coming from
I just done it now. Yeah. So I went to wherever the random, I clicked on the three and the,
Okay.
and do you want me to take a screenshot of it?
Yeah, please. That would be great. And then just email that to me. That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was on the free form.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay. That's not a bug. Let me explain that.
But
Because-
why do they want the info card when they're doing 3 cards?
Well, because you didn't, if it's on the free form, it's if you do, let me show you. So for example, I just did a draw with Ash's deck, right? So here, Ash's deck has got 22 cards and 8 guidebook cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I did a drawing, and these are the 3 cards that came out, right?
Right.
But if I did it, if I went into the cards this way and did a
So it's that
freeform-
one up the top, the one where you've got picked, right, that one on the right-hand side, the 3 cards there, random layout,
Okay.
that one?
Yeah. Then I've got 3 cards. I mean, there's 3 cards, right?
Right, okay, so now when mine aren't flipping over on 3. Oh, hold on, let me go up to the top. Let me do it again.
So I've just done.
Okay, so when I click flip all,
Yeah.
3, they come up. When I was doing it separately, they didn't. So if I do this as a demo in my group, which is where I'm selling them from at the moment, where I'm promoting them at the moment,
Right.
yeah, so
Yeah.
that's working. The other
So
question,
but the bit where it's not going to work, because it's not
Yeah.
that it's not that it's broken, is if you come into do the freeform selection, right,
Mhm.
and you shuffle here, if you flip them over, your guidebook cards are still at the end, right?
All right.
And if you shuffle them again, it doesn't shuffle, and I can shuffle them again. You see the orders changing,
Yeah,
right?
right,
And
yeah.
it's not, and they're still at the end untouched.
Yeah, they are. So I don't know why that
Right.
came up. Okay, I'm
Fine.
doing what you asked. I'm playing with it every day,
Yeah, no,
so
it's-
I get a
Okay,
better
that's,
thing. And then I'm going to start putting them on story. I suppose if I had a bigger phone, it would be easier. But I think I can hold this and do it as well. Then I
Right.
mean, I'm really happy with the thing. People, some of my heart whisperers who've already got my cards have bought them and looking at using them.
right.
Oh, and I've sold one deck, physical deck, as a result of somebody buying this.
Oh, awesome.
So that's good. And I have
Yeah,
done
cool.
this week, I will do lots of promotion and I will go live and show people
Right.
how I'm using it.
Cool.
And
Yeah, I
then
mean,
I can do it with other people's decks when mine aren't featured.
Yeah. So, and then I don't know if you knew this as well, that you can jump to a different deck when you're in here. You can add.
Oh,
You can add.
right.
You can.
I didn't know that. Okay.
You can add an extra card, or you can take a card away at that point, right? And if I choose, I can just click on the deck button there, pick a different deck, and I can mix and
Put
match.
another card in. I've really got to get
Right.
my second deck done as well. Oh, that's brilliant. That is,
Right.
Nick, that's going to be fantastic for people who like to use more than one deck at a time.
Right,
That-
right. And
okay,
think
I
that
didn't-
There's so much.
So much we
There's
can
so much
do with
cool.
it. Yeah, well, I need to get my other deck up there as well. The other thing was in the promote,
Yeah,
promote and
Promote-
share,
yeah.
you can't move any. I just need to I can't change any of those layouts, can I?
Not currently. No, you can create your own spreads, and if you create a
I'm
spread, it
going
will
to do that, but I didn't
Right.
know how to do it within that promote. Oh, I create my own spreads separately, is that right? And then,
Yeah,
but in the
then,
promote and share, it's different.
promote and share uses your deck spreads. So if you create a
Ah.
spread, it will appear in promote and share.
Oh,
And
so, but,
also, but promote and share is new, and it's like evolving fast, because basically if you had a bright idea of what should be there and it wasn't there, you know, that's probably something I'm going to add to it pretty quickly, because I'm trying to make
Okay.
it like really
okay,
cool
I will
and fun.
make them custom spreads, but I'm
Okay.
doing the screenshots from those promote and share. I'm
Right.
doing the
You don't
save.
need, you don't need to do screenshot. You can save as, right? I don't know if you
Yeah,
need that.
save as, whatever. And that's what I use first to start promoting Deckable. And I'll do that again.
Okay, cool.
So I'll do some, I've got to do custom spreads. And I'm going to make some little videos I can share as well. Okay, I've got it. Now I understand. And you were right to say we should use it every day, so then we can be sharing with our community how to share it.
Yeah, I think if I want to hear from you guys if there's an issue, because you all understand it, and then I mean, just even it's the tiniest of thing that could get rid of some piece of friction that improves the experience for everyone, right? We just, yes, we've launched the product, but we're on a long haul journey, and just every little tweak makes it better for everyone, right? So I'm really trying to listen to, I mean, when I come on these calls, I feel like a triage nurse. Like, I'm like, what would you say? No, that's not true. Not that it's not true. I'm like, you know, is it a bug, or is it knowledge, or is it data? Like, you know, and I'm trying to like pinpoint that stuff really quick, because people just, when things don't happen as people expect, we tend to use more colorful language, is more dramatic. And it's often not as you know, as weird as it sounds. I'm like, okay, what happened? Where were you? What did you click? What was the thing, right? So yeah.
Okay, well, that's fantastic. And you'll deal with the customer who I know, Ronnie, yeah. Thank you.
Right.
Okay,
Awesome.
So wonderful.
I
I think you're doing brilliantly, Nick, and I think this is going to be amazing.
Thank you. No, it's you know, I'm very happily embracing the reality of what we have to learn and teach everyone. Right?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, I think
you know,
what you were showing before, where you've got all that written out, that I think that will be brilliant.
Yeah,
and it will save you a lot of time and us a lot of time. Yeah,
that's my key focus, is everything I do, that anything that reduces laborious, repetitive, anything that like takes, if I do something 100 times and I can do it in 1 second instead of 10, it saves me a lot of time. So
well, thank you.
That's what I'm
and
focusing.
thank you for putting these extra calls on.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's good to sort of, you know, I needed to get things done in the last little while, so I've avoided it. But now I feel it's precisely the right time. So, just can you? Yes, BB, you can add X cards to the CSV and upload them. No, you upload the entire spreadsheet again. Yeah.
Okay, that was. I didn't know whether I could parse just to the new thing.
No, like definitely don't want to go mucking around with the CSV. Just upload the whole thing at one go. And also just bear in mind, it doesn't need to be, you can have 10 single cards, or you could have 5 two-sided cards, or 3 three-sided cards, or whatever. Like you can decide how the guidebook gets managed, right? They don't have to be all, they could have as many sides as you want.
So when you re-upload the CSV file, do you have to remove what you already have out there, or
no.
Overwrite. It'll overwrite everything.
It overwrites it. If you bring in new cards at that point, it will add the cards, and then it'll tell you it's missing artwork because you haven't got those cards.
Yep.
Right. And then you add the cards, and like honestly, the checklist is pretty darn good. I think it tells you what's not there. It keeps sending you back to fix the things that aren't fixed. Right?
All right. So that will happen with mine when I re-upload it, because we had some problems with mine in the beginning.
Oh, yeah, we had, yeah, I still haven't, yes, yes.
You haven't fixed those.
Well, I have, because, yeah, no, I haven't been looking at that. I thought
Ah.
about that yesterday, actually. It popped into my head.
It would be
I think
good
I
if you
changed
did
some-
before, it would be good before if you did before I upload it again, wouldn't it?
It would, but it might be quicker just to do it when you do that because.
Okay, I'll let you know when I'm doing it. I want to,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
deciding now
I
whether to
know.
add audios or videos for the cards. I haven't decided.
Okay,
Mm.
cool. No, it's
Okay.
great. I think that sounds good. Sounds
I
good.
will let you know when I'm doing it, okay?
Yeah, thank you. And Bob, you haven't added a video yet. I don't think.
Me,
Yeah. You said
I
it-
added a
it-
video at the weekend.
Oh,
I
okay.
saw it in promotion share. You know, when you
Okay.
I put a video up at the
Okay.
weekend and I'm going to
Oh,
change
okay,
it.
but I just mean not in, you didn't add one to your deck on Deckable.
No, not yet.
Okay, cool. That's what I was just looking. I just looked at your
No,
deck. and
I
looked at it,
just
so-
did whatever you showed us last week, whether to
Right.
put in a video and audio. I just put a video in to put it in
Okay,
now from
cool.
YouTube,
Right.
and then I will do the other one. When we upload the videos to the CSV, do we just use the ID as well, or do we use the whole
Just,
YouTube?
yeah, no, just always just the ID.
Just the
It's,
ID. Okay, great. Got
Yeah,
it.
it's much
Okay, I'll have a
much
busy
simpler.
week. Okay, thank you
All right.
very much, and great to
Thanks,
meet the
everyone.
others. Okay, bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Anyone's got any final questions? Otherwise I'm good to go.
Thanks.
Everything good with you, Christine?
It's coming along. I'm actually waiting for my assistant to finish. She hasn't.
Okay,
And I've been sick, so just getting back to
okay. Cool,
So-
cool. Well, I'm off traveling. I'm off to Italy on Wednesday, so I'm gonna enjoy some Italian culture and architecture and food, and yeah, it'll
sounds
be
great.
fun.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Have a good
exciting.
time.
Thank you for doing these. This is a good idea to have these sessions. So thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I wasn't totally sure, but I'm now feeling convinced. Yeah, this is definitely, and I thought every time I think I know the answer, if I just listen to more people, I get better answers. So it's like, it's make sure that it just means that the time I'm spending is on the right things, not guesswork, right? So awesome.
Totally. Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate all
Thank
this.
you.
Everyone.
Thanks very
Bye.
much.
Thank you.